Hello, and welcome to EDL's 854 Building Finance, Communicating Who You Are. I'm Michelle Clary. I am currently working towards my building license leadership certification. I currently live in Spring Hill, Kansas. I am a special education coordinator for the Wyandotte Comprehensive Special Education Cooperative in Kansas City, Kansas. Our cooperative includes 3 school districts: USD 500, Kansas City, Kansas; USD 204, Bonner Springs and Edwardsville; and USD 203, Piper Schools. I'm currently assigned to early childhood through the age of 21, all services in Bonner Springs, Edwardsville, and Piper Schools. Some of my passions are sports. I like going to sports games, I love participating in them, and I love watching them. One of our family's favorite pastimes is to travel to see our unified sports teams play against teams in basketball, bocce, swimming, bowling, you name it, we got it. And we enjoy participating and watching them. In Module 1, we were assigned 4 different articles and named 10 things you gained from those 4 resources. I broke mine down into the articles that I read. So who has control of the money? Some of the information that shouted out to me was the funds will be allocated by the school district central office for every school. The funds will be allocated directly to individual school principals to determine how to use that money to meet their school's unique needs. And the last one, which resources the central office is going to be buying, managing, and which resources are actually going to be under the control of the principal. I found all 3 of these facts significant because how the funds are distributed by the school district should be a reflection of the school district's philosophy and the goals that they have for the students in the district. The other significance of allocating some of the budgetary responsibilities to principal is the central office always doesn't know the unique needs that each building has to consider. And with allocating the money, another significant area would be the central office has the ability to coach and monitor the decisions that principal makes while ensuring they're still in compliance with all of the rules. This model helps represent a one-size-doesn't-fit-all budget model. The next article was financial responsibilities of the principal. Some of the facts that shouted out of me were fundraising. Fundraising efforts for the school are headed by the school principal. Another one was a principal should ensure that teacher salaries are in line with the level set by the Department of Education and that staff comply with them with the employment terms of the department. The significance of these 2 main points would be the principal should consider the purpose of the fundraiser and make sure that it's kept within the guidelines of education. And with the significance of the principal's failure to comply with the guidelines of the Department of Education is a serious event and can lead to the closure of the school. I interpret it as that principals should be maintaining evaluations on a prompt matter and making sure that teachers' certifications match up with the classes that they are teaching and with the age level of the kids that they are teaching. In the next article, Financial Management Functions of the School Principal, the facts that I obtained were understanding that the school income must be handled in accordance with the relevant requirements, regulations, and rules, ensuring that the other financial management bodies follow those guidelines. I felt that the significance of that fact is that the responsibility of the principal is to understand how the budget is being handled, and they're liable for the funds flowing in and out of the school. The second fact regularly approving and revising the budget. I felt the significance of that is the principal will be monitoring the funds that flow in and out of the school while following up with the staff that maintains those records. The third fact that I found was reviewing and analyzing income and expenditures on a regular basis, ensuring that the resource allocations follows the school development plans. So again, the principal monitoring the funds that are being spent align with the philosophy of the district and the cultural plan of the school, making sure everything matches up. In the next article, school principals should have more say in how education funding is spent. One of the facts was studies show providing principals with flexibility can better align spending with the school priorities. The significance of that was the principals typically know what's best for their students, and effective leaders have been shown to have a substantial effect on student learning. The next fact that I found was at the state level, school finance formulas determine how dollars are allocated to districts. Virtually all of them contain allotments that are restricted for specific purposes. The significance of that is the principal should be aware of the finance formulas, ensure that all funds are put to good use, and the requirements often tie the hands of the district officials. So they're intended to be there for good use, but sometimes we always don't get to spend that money on what our students and building needs are. My concerns about being in charge of the school budget is, what if you are inherited, if you're placed as a school administrator and the goals of your school don't meet the needs of all the students? Therefore, the money is only being spent for certain groups of kids instead of alls. So having that balancing act. Another concern is not knowing the accounting software that's being used and how to identify if someone is stealing the money, because ultimately as the building principal, I'm responsible for this money, and it's going to be my responsibility to identify if someone is mishandling the money. And then another concern is prioritizing the needs. It goes to number one of where should the money be spent for which group of kids, all kids or certain groups. And having the other concern I have is having to say no when a teacher needs a resource and it's a legit resource that is a student needs, and having to say no, we don't have the money to do that, and having to explore other options of how we can get that accomplished. And then my other concern is not having a mentor or support to explain the system and how to keep up with the expectations of the state, the district, and the staff. So allocating my time, learning how all of this works and being responsible for it, and allocating my time of doing it correctly. I'm hoping in the first few years there's an allotment for grace, or there's a time period where corrections can be made. This is my reference page of the 4 resources, the 4 articles that we use to do for Module 1. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to working with you in this class. Thanks.